Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, you know who it is. And I'm doing a quick, raw, dirty review of this new Ty Dolla Sign mixtape. I thought it was going to be an album, I guess it's a mixtape. Campaign. Ty Dolla Sign, songwriter, R&B singer, rapper, coming out with this new mixtape. And I don't know, I liked a lot of the singles leading up to this thing, but when I told people I was going to review it or when people were recommending it to me, I was getting a lot of responses saying, oh, it's terrible, oh, it's trash, you don't want to hear it, it's bad. Honestly, I don't really mind it. It's like not that bad of a tape. I mean, it's not the sort of refreshing and fun and perfect mix of classy and trashy that his Free TC album was. It's definitely on the trashier side of the spectrum. There's a lot of material on this thing that you could probably just toss to the side as being sort of, generic mixtape filler. A lot of trap-flavored beats, a lot of very straightforward, repetitive hooks. Ty Dolla Sign is really boiling his songs down, and a lot of them are very short, like 2 minutes and change. Boiling these songs down to the simplest, catchiest, most direct elements that he can sort of render. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think you just need to go into this project expecting that. There are a few moments, like one exception is the song Stealing, for example, where, you are hearing a beautiful lead vocal melody that's kind of sweet and it's gentle. You're hearing a guitar in the track. You're hearing some strings in the background. So it's not like, every single track is uniformly like this Zaytoven ripoff production banging away in the background is just like, Ty Dolla Sign sings endlessly about pussy or something like that. Though this mixtape definitely has its moments that are coming from that angle. There is a variety of cuts on here, whether it be these straightforward bangers like the track Campaign featuring Future, which I thought was just okay. The Travis Scott and the Migos cut on here were kind of throwaway in my opinion. The Meek Mill cut at the end of the mixtape was maybe one of my favorites in the track listing here. Meek Mill's verse was hype as hell, and the beat was just like unrelentingly just like pummeling and visceral. And one more moment that most definitely stood out for me was the No Justice track, where Ty Dolla Sign pretty much goes boldly political and gets TC on another track singing vocals, which were actually pretty stunning. And the song R&B, where he sings about being in love with this, what he refers to as an R&B bitch. And, they're going out, they're spending time together, and they're making mixes, and they're listening to all of their favorite R&B artists, whether it be Missy, or Jodeci, or Breezy, and their love is sort of being soundtracked by all these popular R&B artists that they reference very heavily throughout the track. And, Ty... Another thing I'll give him credit for on this mixtape is that, a lot of these songs, he comes through with a focused song topic. He's not just like rattling off random BS a lot of the time, track after track after track. Again, I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but I'm not really quite understanding. I'm kind of confused as to why people think this project is like total trash. It definitely doesn't like reek of like a complete lack of effort or anything like that. There's some decent moments on this thing. Definitely some groaning cuts as well, because it seems like he's really sort of underselling himself. He could definitely put out a better song than Hello, for example, or the song Zaddy. While I did like it as a single, it is one of the more depraved cuts in the track listing here. I guess I'll say that. I've heard him put out better material, I guess I'll say. But the highlights on this thing are still good, and I think can go toe to toe with a lot of the cuts off of Free TC. So it's not really that bad of a project, And if somehow this is slipped by you and you're looking for like kind of a quick hit of catchy trap infused R&B that you could have on in the background and a few moments will probably stick with you, give this thing a shot. If you enjoyed any tracks off of TC, I think you should Free TC, I think you should give this thing a shot. And again, for the most part, I'm enjoying it. Not crazy about it, but I think it's decent. And those are essentially my thoughts on this campaign project over here. If you've given it a listen, what did you think about it? Did you love it, hate it, why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Ty Dolla Sign, Campaign, forever.